sun and Africa and the whole lot, just goes together. It's all one thing, It's called Love is the Law. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Listening to these recordings, specifically in this archive, you can hear what the 70s sounded like. You can hear what the 80s sounded like.
No matter whether I understand your language, your culture, your art, but there is a way that we can find each other, which is through music.
Music serves as a window into a time period. It communicates a message that only music sometimes can bring across.
And I am the Director of Archives at Africa Open. We're an institute that does music research, and we actually work mostly with postgraduate researchers and with postdoc research fellows. What I do here is I look after the Hidden Years Music Archive project, which is one of the biggest popular music archives in South Africa. In the collection, we have roughly around 7,000 vinyls, 6,000, 7,000 reel-to-reel and tape recordings, 28,000 photographs, more than 700 pamphlet boxes as well. When the collection came to Stellenbosch, we kept on collecting material. And as the project started going, more and more musicians actually donated their material to us. And it's really building on the legacy of David Marks. I think the thing that scared me and that still scares me is that I have this responsibility to look after all of these amazing things, and I don't do it on my own. So I have a team that helps, and I also have the university library is also helping to look after that.
I'm responsible for digitizing the sound collections and mainly tape cassettes, reel-to-reels, vinyls. But the focus has been on reel-to-reel tapes because they are deteriorating faster than the art formats. The way to transfer and share sound is digital these days. It's not about converting the music, it's about listening and being exposed to quite a lot of history.
Our archive creates like an interaction between the material and everyday people who can understand the past in a really creative way. And it's really up to researchers how they want to portray the things that we have here.
What makes this collection particularly valuable is that it documents a part of our history that we actually know very little about.
What's really relevant about this archive now is how people were going against, a certain way of thinking or understanding, the counterculture of music during a specific time. Our archive allows people to see what else was available at that time.
A big part of the collection also comes from Seagal. And Ben was actually the man who started the third year record company with Audrey Smith. Was an avid music collector. He loved music as well. So he collected most of the vinyls we have in the collection. And the vinyls are really special because a lot of them you couldn't buy in South Africa because they were banned or censored by the government. So Ben would order these with catalogs and he would bring them into the country. And a lot of the musicians who eventually became part of the archive story went to Ben's house to listen to this music. So he would either make small little mixtapes for them and say, hey, Sid Kitchen, I've discovered this amazing band, you're gonna love them. And he would send them the tape. Or musicians would sit in his living room and they would just page through his vinyl collection. And it's quite a beautiful collection because it documents the counterculture in America. So you have all the rock music that was happening during that time, and also a large collection of Pan-African music from the continent. David, he has such an interesting story, and his story really infuses the whole archive.
I do like David Mark's cartoons that he made. I think that brings a very personalized feel to the archive, which is what makes us, quite different from other archives. It's not just material that some organization has put together. It's something from someone's life. We're acknowledging that there's a person behind everything that creates these histories.
David was always politically minded. I think his mum raised him in a way where he was aware of what was happening in the country.
Thank you. Good night.
And he wrote this famous song called Master Jack. So with Master Jack, David went to America in 1969. Now, 1969 was quite a significant year for music because that was the year of Woodstock, the Monterey Pop Festival, Newport Folk Festivals. And David worked for a sound company called the Bill Hanley Sound Company. And he really learned the skill of putting on big live shows. I think he told me that he also saw what you could do with sound and how you could bring people together in a certain kind of a atmosphere, in a certain kind of a way. When David came back to South Africa, it was right after the Woodstock Music Festival. He wanted to do similar kinds of things in South Africa, so similar kinds of shows, bringing communities of people together, but he didn't have a sound system, so he couldn't really do big outdoor events. So what happened was Bill Hanley sent part of the Woodstock sound system to David. I mean, it's insane, right? The Woodstock sound system in South Africa, it's so special for me. And with that system, David started putting on big shows.
Case maybe it's not era from Russia or era from way. This is era of Africa. That's why music is what they breathe today.
I sometimes imagine what was happening in those music spaces, like all those alternative music spaces. Not all those musicians who got the chance to perform there understood each other and each other's language and culture. But there was this thing that was bringing them together, the sound, the music, I remember growing up, my parents had a collection of vinyls. So we would look at Juluka, which is Johnny Clegg, a white man dressed in Zulu with a black man, Sipho Mchunu. And it was quite strange, but those conversations were never opened, We didn't understand why. We knew it was something that was kind of different and strange and, but we didn't know why it was, or nobody ever provided us with those answers, because, growing up, there was just this drift between a white person and a black man, But to know the background of how the collaboration started, then you get to understand, how much we missed historically, and also how much people fought for those collaborations in terms of exposing the injustices of the past.
It's a tragic thing to speak about, actually, but a lot of these musicians who made incredible music, who played at big shows, are living in absolute poverty now. They stayed in South Africa and they tried to make a living here. They tried to still practice their art. in a country where segregation and censorship was at the height of its game. That's why we have this responsibility and this weight to actually pay homage to these musicians for what they actually contributed in South Africa. The only way you heard these musicians was if you went to the actual concerts. And a concert at that point, you weren't going to make a living from concerts.
You can go to your ordinary Google and just type one of the artists. You'll literally find nothing. It's such a shame to know how much they have done, and yet there's nothing out there.
You know, we have talent. We have amazing things. It's waiting for people to come and explore it.
It's just a lot of beautiful music, honestly. It's just...
I mean, there's too much to share. There's honestly all the stories. I wish I could tell you more about the actual music and the musicians, but there's not space for that. I need a lifetime.
I know that these are not my vinyls, and it's the archives, but because I have, you know, gone through every single one of them, I just feel that it's like my child, my baby, you know. When people come in here, I want to help them, I want to show them what I've seen. So, you know, you do get attached, and it's very difficult to unattach yourself.
Music is life. I mean, I can really say music is life.